Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here with Agile Fleet. And today we're going to talk about running a vehicle maintenance shop in a higher ed environment. And with that, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kathy Wellik. I'm a CAFM, and I'm the Senior Client Success Manager here at Agile Fleet. I joined the team last November. And while I'm new to the team, I'm not new to Agile because I ran an award-winning fleet for 17 years. And I hope that you enjoy today's presentation. We're going to do a couple of polls throughout today's presentation, so we do hope you would participate. So the first poll, so I can best help you and help you to learn from us, is do you currently have a maintenance shop at your fleet? So the poll question should have come up. And if you can please answer the question and click submit, that would be great. And I'm going to give you just a couple minutes here on if you do have your own maintenance shop currently. And Mike from our marketing team is helping us out today as well. So he's going to tell me when those results are in. So
well, this should be.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah, Kathy. So it seems that just about everybody so far, 94% of respondents do have their own maintenance shop.
Wonderful. That's great to hear. So what the nice part is too is that we want to be able to make sure you feel comfortable. You can leave questions in the chat or ask questions in the chat. And since a lot of you already have your own shop, it's a really great place to think tank. So thank you so much, Mike, for doing that. And we'll go ahead and we'll move on here in the presentation. And with that knowledge that a lot of you do have shops. That's fantastic. So our objectives today are to identify those unique challenges with a higher ed or university shop and how to overcome those challenges, right? So we're going to also talk about proper shop management for a higher ed shop, key parts of a successful preventative maintenance program, where you can learn how many technicians and bays you need for your shop, and tracking maintenance in your FMIS system. So what are some of the unique challenges in your higher ed shop environment today? Again, we're going to do a quick poll here that Mike is going to put up. And if you'll please tell us what you find to be some of the biggest challenges in running your maintenance shop today. Mike, will you please put the second poll up? Thank you so much. We're going to give you just a little bit of time here to answer the poll question. And again, I'll wait on Mike will be telling me when we're almost there. It looks like people are responding. Thank you for being good sports and responding. Looks like parts inventory and keeping preventative maintenance on schedule seems to be high on the list. Good job.
Yeah, it looks
a lot
like
of you are responding.
Yeah, most folks in.
All right, and there's some more in there. They're still going up. Good job. Great participation, you guys. Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at this here. So with that, we're seeing multiple different items here, but it looks like the top concerns and challenges that you're having is parts inventory and keeping preventative maintenance on schedule. Those are two huge topics, and we are going to cover those today. It also looks like after that comes managing the volume of work, which we can help you with that. Finding and keeping qualified technicians, which we're going to talk about that. And drivers with very experienced levels and needs is tying for different billing algorithms or different billing formats that people need. So wonderful. Thank you again for participating in that. And so I do have some of these items too in a little bit greater detail of some of the other things that might or might not have been on that list. So universities seem to have tight budgets, right? So perhaps more in any other university environment, colleges and universities are continually asked to do more with less. So with Fleet Commander, we can help you save money, and we can allow fleet managers to collect the data needed to right-size your fleet, free up costly staff time, and make better use of your vehicles. Universities also have varied policies, so the policies tend to vary greatly between faculty, staff, and students. Student MVR requirements might be different than full-time staff and faculty requirements. So there can be all kinds of different rules and policies of who can drive what type of vehicle and so forth based on either age or driving experience. So Fleet Commander can help you enforce and communicate those policies. So even as your motor pool staff and drivers frequently change, all of your rules are automatically communicated and enforced. And that truly helps also with the auditing part of your job. Vehicle abuse tends to be another item. So even with effective policy enforcement, college and university vehicles take a beating. A lot of them, depending on what type of college you are, if they have to go into a field site, they might be going off-road, and sometimes these vehicles come back in pretty bad shape. And it's always, we don't know who did it or how that dent got there. So the system is going to provide accountability, and those responsible for the damaged vehicles will be noted. And you can also note late pickups and returns very easily in Fleet Commander. Then where I saved a ton of money in my fleet is the weekend and off-hour pickup and drop-off. So while most faculty and staff have vehicles during normal business hours, other functions at a university do require vehicles off hours. There's sports teams, there's conferences, and so forth. And so with that, getting equipped with the state-of-the-art key control and car sharing options to offer 24/7 secure access to vehicles, whether your staff is there or not, for online reservations, that makes it quick, easy, and convenient, and can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So by having a kiosk and being able to dispatch vehicles all throughout the day and evening, what used to take multiple vehicles, for example, if you have a 15-passenger van, someone might need it on a Friday for a field trip. Another professor might need it on Saturday for another field trip, while on Sunday somebody else might need it to do an airport run. In the past, when you couldn't get keys on the weekends, that would take 3 separate vehicles because everybody would need to come get their keys on a Friday night. I'm sure if I could see all your smiling faces and asked you to raise your hands if you hand out keys early on a Friday, I bet I would see a lot of hands raised. So with a kiosk system and having that 24/7 access, you can do all 3 of those reservations with one vehicle. In, out, and in, out with those keys. And then the universities also have the need for convenience and flexibility. So universities is a fast-moving environment, and you need powerful, convenient fleet management system to meet the needs of customers. And Fleet Commander can help you by offering online registration to accommodate frequent turnover of faculty, staff, and students. flexible online vehicle requests and approval, online mileage collection for departments, and the ability to request multiple vehicles for athletic events, conferences, fleet optimization tools, and much more. So let's talk just a little bit about the variety of vehicles means a variety of shop needs. So on a university fleet, you're like a city within a city. And that means that there are so many different types of vehicles. You're not like a pharmaceutical fleet that just has sedans. You're not like a utility fleet that just has utility trucks. You're a city within a city, and you have to have buses, motorcycles, golf carts, sedans, pickups, minivans, all of these different vehicles. And so with these different vehicles, you have to have different shop equipment. For example, larger tires on the buses may need to be worked on by hand or have a larger tire machine than sedans. Larger vehicles equal bigger hoists if you're going to get the job done and have the job done in your shop where it's cheaper and more efficient. You're going to have different fluid amounts going in on your oil changes and so forth from a sedan to a bus. You're going to have different service intervals. Some vehicles might need serviced every 6,000 miles. Some might need serviced every 10,000 miles. So you have to be able to have a way to monitor that, keep track of that, and make sure that items are getting done in a quick and efficient manner. And it's also important too, because in this day and age, unfortunately, with a lot of lawyers and so forth, if an accident happens, you're going to need to be asked for all that information. And are you going to be able to get that if you're just managing a fleet with an Excel worksheet or a Word document? You need to be able to maximize the use of your FMIS system to keep track of all those intervals, spec the information, parts numbers, and much more to keep your shop running smoothly. So this one isn't a poll question, I don't think, but in the chat, can you just put in what's your most unique piece of equipment that you have to maintain in your fleet? I'm just curious as to what the most unique piece of equipment is that you have to maintain. I know when I visited Notre Dame, they had a really old car that was used for parades that was pretty cool. A Packer, there you go. Thank you, Jeff. A mobile medical unit, food truck. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Jim. And keeping track and doing maintenance on a food truck and emergency equipment is quite different than a sedan, isn't it? Ooh, Olympic ice cleaning machine. All right. Coach buses, EMS mobile command center, self-driving Lexus. Nice. Water trailer, drinking water station, 69 Blazer K. Good stuff. I knew I was with some talented folks. Isn't that fun to find out what everybody has? That's awesome. And feel free to continue putting them in the chat if you want. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So a higher ed fleet also tends to see drivers with a variety of multiple experiences and vehicle needs. So these challenges can lead to having to adjust scheduling in the shop if an emergency vehicle goes down, and it may take precedence over what is currently in the shop. Vehicles go into unique places with research projects and may require additional equipment. For example, there was a truck that went to Mexico every year to study a certain type of fig that only grew in Mexico. That vehicle had to have multiple spare tires because the road conditions weren't good and they weren't really in a safe location where they were going. So we had to make sure that it was the same vehicle because of insurance purposes, because we had to have extra insurance, and B, that there was extra tires, extra equipment and stuff in case anything went wrong. You are balancing many different balls in your hands, and thinking of all these unique things that can happen are things that make you just a mastermind of fleet. So great job. You're in a good role. So vehicles also may need to be upfit for specific needs. A lot of you have plumbers on campus. You have electricians on campus. You might have veterinarians on campus. A lot of you have police. A lot of you have dining, just like what you were saying in the chat. So all those different vehicles drive differently. You might need different licenses and so forth. And drivers may have a limited driving experience prior to coming to the university. So you may try to take a compact car into a field, and they shouldn't do that, right? So you need to help them to not do that. Or a driver may not know how to fill the DEF fluid in a diesel truck if they get a diesel instead of a gas. So how are you going to let them know what they need to do? So these challenges can be overcome with proper processing being set up in the shop and getting to know your customers and your transportation needs. One of those hot topics that you had on the poll was finding and keeping qualified technicians. And now more than ever, it is hard to find and keep those qualified technicians. So often in a higher ed setting, technicians are given a salary and they do not get commissions like they would if they were at a dealership. So providing tools for the technicians is a savings to help keep qualified techs. Depending on if you're a union shop or not, you may also be able to provide uniforms. I do caution you, though, that you need to potentially work with your HR and/or union because many higher ed facilities have set rules on how much, if any, uniforms can be provided. So to keep technicians, you also want to find what makes them motivated. So get to know your staff and see what each employee likes. It may be money that you don't have much control over. However, it may be leaving early or a close parking spot. Those little things can mean a lot. And also, I encourage you to apply for different contests like the 100 Best or the Leading Fleets with GFX. And if you win those, make sure you celebrate those successes. Celebrate them with your clients, celebrate them with your staff. Let them know what a good job they're doing because they deserve that. And also invest in your technicians and allow them the opportunity for continuing education and certifications, such as ASE certifications. So invest in the learning of changing technology is also important. Is your shop ready for electric vehicles? Do you have the proper safety equipment? Or do you need to outsource work on certain types of vehicles because you might not have those tools available? It's also important to keep track of your technicians' direct and indirect labor. This will help you in understanding your true costs and may offer some friendly competition between technicians with certain KPIs. And remember, all of this can be tracked in your FMIS system, from trainings to labor breakdown. Billing is another section that, depending on the shop, you may be providing service to other agencies or departments that you need to bill to. This can be challenging in a higher ed environment because you have to keep track of all the costs and billing for each vehicle. Our system can help you keep track of costs, and we can customize billings if a need arises. It's also important to have a system that will allow you to bill in a timely manner with one or more account numbers. We also understand the importance of needing to bill frequently to make sure billings post before account numbers that are grants expire. You often have a use it or lose it time frame that we have to make sure we are taking into account. Now let's talk about successful shop management in more detail. Staffing. There's so many things to focus on when running a successful shop. So today we're going to talk about some major areas to focus on for running a successful shop in a higher ed setting. We're going to talk about each one of these more specifically in a bit. So staffing can be unique in a higher ed environment setting. So some fleets have union shops while others do not. Experience requirements for positions are sometimes more difficult to fill because of experience rules. Work with your HR reps for this. I know we had a very difficult time hiring people for our cleanup department. They always wanted 2 years experience. Most people don't have one or two years experience detailing cars, but I can teach somebody how to clean a car. So you have to work with your HR to help them understand your needs and how you can potentially word it differently or find other experience that would count for this. Do you have student workers? And with that, is your scheduling covered? Or are there often holes that you need to have more help? Do you have interns? If not, that is a great thing to check into. I've used internships and so forth for lots of different things, such as rewriting our safety program, redesigning our parking lot structure, making videos for how to use our system, and various other operation things that we needed. So reach out to other instructors, see if any students need anything for like a capstone class project or just a project in general that they can put on their resume for you. It could be redoing your website. It could be adding more instructions and training staff with training videos. And then with the staff again as well, try and make sure you can provide them tools since their income is limited and uniforms if it is allowed. In today's world, procurement in the fleet industry has seen some challenges. It's important to keep all of your options open to procuring the proper vehicles, equipment, and supplies. So in replacing your fleet, it's important that you have a full history of your fleet and make good purchasing decisions based on real data that can be found in your fleet information software. When do you need to purchase? Keep in mind cooperative purchase agreements that you can participate in. These agreements often make the purchasing process go faster and smoother, especially with limited timeframes for being able to bid things currently. Any successful shop knows its customers and knows how to customize vehicles and equipment to best suit the drivers. Upfits are so important. It may be a plumber that needs to have parts, a pickup that needs to have an extra fuel tank in the bed of the truck, or maybe an electrician that needs to work on power lines. All vehicles require different upfits to ensure efficiency and safety of all drivers. So make sure you're communicating with your users and finding them exactly what they need. Preventative maintenance. An outstanding preventative maintenance program is a must for any shop, and we are going to specifically discuss that in detail a little bit later in the presentation. Of all the work that comes through your shop, around 80% should be preventative maintenance and 20% should be repair, and you should be tracking these in your FMIS system. Just-in-time inventory means that you have what you need just in time with certain parts that you use frequently. Most shops carry some inventory, but depending on the size of your shop and makeup of your fleet, those inventories may differ. For simple oil filter, air filter, wiper blades, etc., it's important to have the parts in inventory and be able to issue those parts on a work order. You may want to consider a build-up list. So when your salesman comes in, if there's 2 filters on the shelf and it says you need 6 of that one, they automatically order 4 and aren't taking time from your technicians working on vehicles. Total cost of ownership is just as important to your vehicles as the oil change. It's important to know all costs associated with your vehicle, from insurance, depreciation, and other expenses besides the fuel and maintenance. To me, it's always made sense to have it all in one place so you don't have to chase down information from multiple systems. In training, you want to keep up on training because that's so vital for your shop to stay in business. Safety for your technicians and making sure they're fixing vehicles correctly for the safety of your drivers are the most important part of your business. Changing technologies equals changing in how cars are repaired and what tools may be needed. The shop of today is so much different than the shop in 1970. The cars have so many technologies in them, and the cost to repair is high, so having properly trained techs are important. Electric cars offer several changes in how cars are serviced and even glass repair these days. A windshield used to be a piece of glass that you looked out of, but today it's also the antenna for your radio, sensors for your vehicle safety features, and the vehicle has to be driven to recalibrate things after the glass is replaced. So it's important to keep track of trainings in your FMIS system, keep track of copies of training, as well as dates of completion and expiration dates so your staff know how to do all the jobs they're expected to do. Disposal of the vehicles can often be handled several different ways at a higher ed institution as well. Do you have your own auction in person or online? Do you take it to a professional auction house? Do you share with other government agencies in a joint auction? Do you sell online with govdeals.com or a similar site? It's also important to remember to sell vehicles as is and with having all of your work orders in one spot so you can easily tell if there's any damage you need to disclose when signing off on titles and vehicles. So now we're going to take a deeper dive into the key parts of a successful preventative maintenance program. Developing a preventative maintenance checklist is an essential part of establishing a preventative maintenance program that ensures the optimal performance and longevity of the fleet. So to begin, you should identify critical components and systems of each vehicle that will require regular inspection and maintenance. These may include the engine, transmission, brakes, tires, steering and suspension, and electrical systems. Once you've identified the key areas, you can create a checklist that outlines the specific tasks that need to be performed during the maintenance interval. For example, a typical checklist may include items such as checking fluid levels, inspecting hoses and belts, replacing filters, and lubricating moving parts. It is essential to ensure that the checklist is comprehensive and all maintenance tasks are included to avoid overlooking any critical needs. Establishing and customizing a preventative maintenance schedule is crucial for that optimal performance and longevity. And to begin, it's important to identify that maintenance needs of the vehicle, also taking into account the manufacturer's recommendations, usage patterns, and environmental conditions. Factors that may affect the frequency of maintenance required in certain vehicles include the type of vehicle, the age of vehicle, the mileage, the terrain, and the type of fuel used. For example, heavy-duty trucks that operate in harsh terrain or extreme temperatures may require more frequent maintenance than light-duty vehicles. Once you've identified these factors, you can create a maintenance schedule that specifies the task and intervals for each vehicle. So the example on this one, in this particular maintenance plan for a diesel truck, is we are going to do a lube, oil, and filter every 10,000 miles or 365 days. The system will support whatever maintenance plans is most important to you and how you decide to set them up. When implementing a preventative maintenance program in your fleet, it's also important to consider the requirements set forth by the Department of Transportation. The DOT has specific regulations and guidelines that govern the maintenance and safety of commercial vehicles, and failure to comply with these can result in costly fines and penalties, as well as potential safety hazards. By considering DOT requirements when implementing your preventative maintenance program, you can ensure that your fleet remains safe and compliant with federal regulations. You can also, through this process, if you have to do, say, annual inspections, you can schedule those online with the vehicle and it will show up on the dashboard when needed. Seasonal vehicles require a specific approach when developing a preventative maintenance plan for a fleet. These vehicles are not used year-round, which means they may sit idle for an extended period of time. During this time, their components can deteriorate due to lack of use or exposure to the elements. To ensure that seasonal vehicles are ready to perform when they are needed, it is essential to conduct regular and sometimes additional inspections and maintenance checks. By incorporating these preventative measures into a comprehensive preventative maintenance program, fleet managers can ensure that their seasonal vehicles remain in working order and are ready to serve their intended purposes when the season arrives. You can automate all of your preventative maintenance tasks in this system. A fleet management information system, such as Fleet Commander, can help you streamline and automate preventative maintenance tasks for fleet vehicles. With the use of this system, maintenance reminders and notifications are automated and sent to fleet managers or maintenance personnel. Additionally, the system captures data on all PM tasks completed, as well as repairs, parts inventory, and labor required. This information can be easily accessed on the online dashboard, providing fleet managers with a comprehensive overview of their fleet's maintenance history. The use of reports that track various maintenance metrics, including maintenance costs, tasks, and schedules, is essential in evaluating the effectiveness of your preventative maintenance program. These reports provide a detailed overview of your fleet's maintenance history and allow you to identify patterns of system failures, neglect, operator abuse, and other factors that may be affecting the performance of your vehicles. By analyzing this data, you can make informed decisions and modify and improve your PM program, optimizing it for better performance and increased cost savings. Effective online tracking of technician productivity is a crucial element of a PM program. To optimize the program's effectiveness, it is essential to track both direct and indirect labor, including time spent on breaks and in meetings. It's important that the system used to track technician productivity is user-friendly and intuitive to ensure ease of use. If technicians are forced to rely on a cumbersome paper process or repeatedly log in and out of work orders, their productivity will suffer. A user-friendly interface with minimal duplication of effort, streamlined login requirements, and intuitive features will greatly improve technician productivity and job satisfaction. The maintenance module Fleet Commander offers those capabilities and more, making it an ideal solution for fleet managers looking to optimize their PM program's efficiency. With Fleet Commander, fleet managers can easily track the technician productivity and streamline their maintenance process. Next, we're going to talk about tracking maintenance in your FMIS system, but we're going to do another poll. So if you could please tell us in the next poll how you currently manage your maintenance program. And thank you, Mike, for putting it up there. How are you currently managing your maintenance program? Good job. The responses are coming in. Good work. So how do you currently manage your maintenance program? So it looks like the top two answers here are another software tool and Fleet Commander. And then the third is a third-party management. So it could be like a Holman group or something like that. The good news is on this call, none of you are doing it by paper or Excel, which I'm amazed at how many fleets do still use paper and Excel. So congratulations on that. So with the maintenance and Fleet Commander, Agile Fleet is proud to be your FMIS partner, and our maintenance program offers a lot of benefits, such as monitoring, organizing, and managing maintenance activities. You can track maintenance and operating costs, track your technician direct and indirect time, improve efficiency, reduce asset downtime, reduce maintenance expense, and extend the useful life of your assets. In our spec tab for each vehicle, the technicians can easily identify the part numbers of the filters, oil weight, oil capacity, tire sizes, and so much more. All the information is easy for technicians to find. Since a higher education fleet has such a variety of vehicles that can vary, no one can memorize all those things. So it's right there in the system. It's one stop, and your staff has all the information they need to know about the vehicle so they continue their work quickly and efficiently. Next, in the Fleet Commander system, you can set up your maintenance plans. Your maintenance plans feed the maintenance dashboard. Here's how it works. We want to build a PM plan based on, for example, a certain number of miles or certain number of days. To create the PM tasks such as an oil change, tire rotation, inspections, etc., and different tasks for different vehicles. So you can create more than one plan. One for sedans, one for heavy equipment, one for pickup trucks, etc. Go into the vehicle's profile and assign the plan to the particular vehicle. Fleet Commander will look at the odometer of the vehicle or the calendar and automatically alert the administrator when the task is due. In this example, the vehicle has a lube, oil, and filter every 6,000 miles or 365 days. And all plans can be customized to your fleet for your purpose. There are so many reasons to have the history of tasks and work orders at the technician's fingertips for all the different work orders, as you can see on the screen. You can see what was previously done on the vehicle. You can identify trends if the vehicle is in for service often. You can increase the value of the vehicle at resale, potentially by showing how well maintained a vehicle is. And if an accident should ever occur, you have to provide information for legal matters on the maintenance of the vehicle. There are many more reasons as well, I'm sure, but these are enough reasons to invest in your FMIS system that maintains all the information needed in one easy-to-use system. The total cost of ownership is so important, especially if you're in a chargeback situation, so you know exactly how much to charge for a vehicle. Most higher ed institutions require rates to be reviewed annually and updated at the beginning of the fiscal year. People do not always remember to add the other parts of cost equations. Most people think fuel and maintenance, but remember, you also have insurance, depreciation, admin costs. Those are all true costs that need to be passed on and can be brought in on our new total cost of ownership tool that we have at Agile. All of this and more feeds into a maintenance dashboard that allows you to email clients to set up service and create work orders for work due. The dashboard also shows you the average cost and what is in the process. So, in review, we were able to identify 4 unique challenges in the higher ed shops and more. We were able to identify 8 shop management areas of focus, identified 7 parts of a successful preventative maintenance program, and identified important aspects of maintenance in your FMIS system. Putting this puzzle together, all these pieces equals success. So whether you already have a successful shop and want to make a few tweaks to what you do to become more successful, or if you're just setting up a higher ed shop and you want to be successful at what we can do to help, Fleet Commander from Agile is your trusted partner that can take your success in your shop to the next level. I hope you got a few nuggets today to help you with your shop. And as always, myself and the other staff at Agile Fleet are here to help you.